Hello everyone, it's Sagrannus here once again, and we are back on the big rig and have a bit of a special video as a result of that. Now, it's stealing the spot a little bit because usually demo impressions are what happens on the weekends, but a couple of reasons we're not doing a demo impressions. One, I couldn't find a demo that I thought would actually work particularly well that's new, and I like to look at the new demos rather than the old ones. Secondly, Galactic Civilization 3 is a game I've wanted to cover in some way for a while. Now, I do want to do a full-blown muse about or long-winded opinion play of this game at some point, but something happened recently that gave me the opportunity to have an excuse to at least play some of this and record it. So, what happened? Well, I would have liked to have done this straight away, but a few things helped me out. A few weeks ago, the latest DLC for Galactic Civilization 3 came out, which features the Snathi, who are a kind of rodent apocalypse race, essentially, as a playable faction, which is a first for Galactic Civilizations if you exclude any modding that occurs. So we're going to try them out for about half an hour or so. And so we're doing it at the same time I can sort of ramble on about my thoughts on the series, on Stardock, and on this game in and of itself. So let's get started. New game. Now, I will actually be putting up, if you're interested, the consensus for my own creation for Galactic Civilization 3 once I've sort of edited it up a little bit more over the next few hours. But basically, yeah, I'll be uploading that to the workshop because Galactic Civilization 3 is very Steam Workshop friendly, and you know, someone might want to try out the consensus led by the Prime Matrix. But we're about the Snathi Revenge. The most evil sect of an already evil race, the Snathi Revenge has spent the last millennia imprisoned by the precursors on a distant world. Free at last, they will show the galaxy the true face of evil. They were always kind of an interesting minor race in 2. So it's interesting to actually play them. So we're going to play in a medium galaxy with, let's go for a spiral galaxy. Occasional pirate bases, common habitable planets. Yeah, that's fine. And all those fun. I do like to have minor races around. I love it. I love the United Planets, mega events, occasional galactic events abundant. Yep. Alright, we'll leave it at beginner because we're just trying things out. Okay. We'll chuck in the Dragon. So, let's start. So, as you may know, this was essentially kickstarted. Galactic Civilization 3 was essentially kickstarted to help fund its production, and it is that obviously part of quite a venerable and revered series of 4X turn-based strategy games. Galactic Civilization 2 and 1 being masterpieces of the genre and absolutely amazing games, and are really what, to my mind, put Stardock on the map. They were the first Stardock games I played, and I love them bits. I've only played about 50 hours or so far, and I know that doesn't sound, or to some of you that sounds massive, but 50 hours in this sort of game is nothing. I mean, you could have one game that lasts longer than 50 hours. So, let's read through. The most evil sect of an already evil race, that Snathi Revenge, spent the last millennia imprisoned by the precursors in a distant world. With the fall of the Dreadlords, the Snathi are finally free to lay waste to a galaxy of lesser beings and foes. In the name of their creators, the Dreadlords, the Snathi will show the galaxy the true face of fear. The Snathi are the ultimate scavenger race. They quickly learn how to piece together any technologies that they come across and can repair the most damaged vessels at a rate unheard of by other species. The Snathi are also known for cherry-picking the technologies of other races and using them for their own nefarious purposes. I will be role-playing these guys pretty hard and going full evil. So, the SSS Den Maker. So we need to find a planet. Well, I'm going to tootle off there. Scavenger can go and survey. And the sneak can go, not sentry, explore. So let's assign some buildings to be built. So we've got Thulium, okay, Cataract, Massive Falls, almost free energy. And what's on? Tourist attractions. I'll put one of our factories there, another factory there, another factory there, lab, 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 and like a consulate down there. That should keep us going for a while. Okay, research. Ooh, nice little robot. Very pretty. The actual visual caliber of this game obviously massively outshines its predecessor, but it's kept many of the things we love, including the interesting animated characters and everything. And though they have changed the tech tree, and sometimes I do like to switch back because you can change to the old style tech tree, which is nice too. But the new one's not too bad. We'll go for pseudo industrialization to start with. It should be idle. Well, we're going to get a couple more den makers and a couple of improvisers, which are the should be starbase building things. Now we're at the top of the map, probably top center, I'd say, yeah. And tilt things around just to show off how pretty the game is. Right. So, obviously Galactic Civilizations has always been a turn-based 4X strategy game with a sci-fi setting. It's always basically followed the same premise with a storyline that does go on that affects the overall game, but isn't massively, like, a lot of people don't ever play the stories, which is a bit of a shame because they are quite interesting stories. I will start with that. The videos are beautiful, absolutely beautiful in this. Like, there's been a lot of love and care that's gone into these, clearly. New on the 25% range, cool. So let's colonize Rex and have some more beautiful videos coming in. But yeah, basically the big selling point is that there's lots of replayability, there's lots of variety, and as of 2, you could customize your own races. Diplomacy actually has some depth and all of that. And well, what else? Let's see. Obviously, you've got all these events, and the events are beautifully written in this. So, the intense background radiation of this world occasionally causes strange interference patterns on display screens around your colony, and recently these patterns have shown signs of intelligent thought. Your scientists trace the patterns to crystal outcroppings around your colony. Studying this new form of intelligence could open the door to incredible breakthroughs in the understanding of life. On the other hand, those crystals are pretty valuable looking. What are your orders? And whenever you get these events, you have 3 choices: of benevolent, pragmatic, and malevolent, and they each have, as well as giving you points in those 3 areas, one of those 3 areas, they give different bonuses. So if I take the good guy thing, I get slight bonus to research, slight to influence. If I go for pragmatism, I get a decent bonus to research. And if I go malevolent, which I'm going to, you get a bonus to the economy. If the crystals are valuable, this is an easy decision. Mine them and sell them. If they fetch a high price, then sure, claim they're intelligent. So there isn't much that I can do on this world just yet, so I'm going to basically build 2 factories. What's that good for? That'll get a consulate, and we'll whack down a lab there, and a lab there. And that's colonization. I think the great thing is that a lot of things in this game are quite intuitive. So here's something that's being changed since 2. That's your ideology. So now when you make decisions, you don't just sort of get basic benefits from being there. You can choose what benefits you gain when for things. So you can have aggression, motivation, greed, or in the malevolent tree. Free frigate, intimidation center, 10% increase planetary income, no penalty. I'm going to go with the frigate. It's always nice to have a warship early on. So there's our frigate, the SSS Crusher MO1. She's a pretty nice looking beast, to be honest. Lots of ballistic firepower and good shields. That's good. So you have 3 types of attack. You have ballistic, missiles, and laser, and each have their own defenses. So obviously, this ship has no real advantage in going up against anything but laser. If it goes against laser, it should be able to take a few hits and land a lot. So it's not an all-rounder, really. It's a fairly tight ship. I'm just going to leave it in Snathi Prime for now. I'm not at war with anyone yet. So research, obviously, you get these awesome write-ups. The humour in Galactic is one of the best things about it. I love the humour in these games, and I know I'm sort of fangirling a little bit, and I'm sorry for that, but it's one of those series that you can't help but love. Even little details, like if you notice over here, there's actually a Snathi there, and there's a Snathi ship. It's just little details like that in the videos. So, we're going to specialise in industrial work. Okay, turn. So, okay, we've run into some, we don't have a universal translator, so it's all gibberish. Huh? And that's a nice touch as well. Even though it makes no sense at the start of the game, you have to research what you consider that in 2, which was set chronologically before this, you also had to research Universal Translator. And in 1, which was set chronologically before that, you had to research Universal Translator. So everyone loses their tech. Basically, tech winds back to 0 every game, which is gameplay-wise excellent, logic-wise not so great. Basically, if you don't know the premise is this. For millennia, the other spacefaring races had been able to travel short-range spaceship trips and use stargates to get, essentially stargates, to travel and trade, which was very restrictive and meant everything was sort of balanced. Then we lovely humans came along, and what did we do? Well, we invented the hyperdrive, and that changed everything. Don't need stargates, free travel, which of course led to war. Oh, that's a new ability just for us. Let us study the technology of other races. So that's a specific trait to the Snathi. Of course, a lot of the technology actually gets different names depending on your race, even though it might do the same thing, which is another nice touch. It shows that a lot of time has been spent on the fine details, which is great. Okay, we've loaded a ship, but we need a planet to put the people on. I'm going to take a gambit and hope that there's room over here for us somewhere. There's nothing there. Galactic event, helpful dust. A cloud of dust has emerged out of deep space, blah, 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 blah. Shipyards more efficient. Cool. Okay, there's nothing for us there. It's obviously a local shop. I'm sorry if you don't get that reference. It's a good one. Snathi are known throughout the galaxy as the ultimate scavengers, not just for the ships that we take, but for the technologies that we glean from the simple observation of our enemies. Cool. So, slave pits, let's do it. Let's play the eagle card. And as you can see there, a Prue relic, which I'm going to try to get my hands on quickly. We're probably going to end up at war with the drink quite quickly. I fake smile and pretend I understand. I need to get onto that universal translator. That's the next thing we'll be getting. I may want to just reorder our instructions on shipbuilding, because you don't want to heap colony ships that can't go anywhere. That would be a problem. So, you probably guessed that I quite like Galactic Civilizations 3. However, I've never really been able to get into it as much as I got into, say, I don't know, Galactic Civilizations 2. Especially, I mean, I loved Gal 1, but Gal Civ 2 was probably the one. The dreaded of playing crazy, relying on slaves to do all their production. Still, it does seem stupid to not take advantage of all those prisoners that we have been acquiring lately. Of course. Okay, governance, universal translator, please. And there's a very good reason why I've never been able to get into Gal Civ 3 quite as much as the other games in the series. And that is this. I backed this game very early on. Sorry. And the Drenchen are playing very aggressively. I backed this game very early on. Which meant I was playing the alphas and the betas quite a lot. And often doing that actually drains your excitement and enjoyment of the game because you're experiencing it sort of as it progresses. I found the same with Wasteland 2, which I also played a lot in the betas. And I mean, it does help developers for you to do that in these sort of situations, and helps them save funds, which can then go elsewhere, which is good. Sorry, I should have read that to you because that was quite good. Better work on some weapon systems. I can sense war impending. Yeah, and so I played a lot of this in beta and things, and so when it wasn't particularly polished, when it wasn't great, when there were a lot of problems, not bad problems, just problems you always get in development. And that does sort of suck the enjoyment and excitement out because you feel like you're doing work because you're looking for problems, and also you're just playing it and getting a lot of the excitement out of the way a little bit too early. So yeah, I still prefer. In many ways, I have fonder memories of Galactic 2 than 3, though I don't play Galactic 2 now that 3 is out. So I suppose that speaks for how close it is to its predecessor, which may be another problem in that you want more of the same, but you also want something new. I mean, this thing is doing new things. I mean, some features from 2, I believe, are not yet in 3 because they wanted to really work on them. I'm not sure if spies are in yet. I'll check. I probably should have checked that before, but I was too excited about the Snathi. The best defense is a good offense. Interestingly, so is the best offense. With that in mind, we developed weapon systems which would prove very well suited to space-based defense, and, as discussed, offense. So as you can see, there's some quite witty writing in the background. So we're going to go for militarization, which, of course, to anyone who's played these games before, is a very familiar technology, and one that a lot of you probably used a lot. Oh, that's not good. Negative 20 approval. As for presentation, though, Galactic 3 is possibly one of the best looking 4X strategy games in a while. This is actually a commentary on the fact that I'm playing on beginner mode, which I shouldn't do, really. I can play at a lot higher level, but you're familiar with your blatant build-up. You're lucky that my military advisor has been beset by someone to be stupid, or it would surround your fleet and annihilate it. So there's a bit of meta sort of gaming in this game, which I quite like, to be honest. I think it's quite great. So let's build a starbase. Starbase. So, once again, beautiful video. Yeah, the presentation of this game is astonishing. Really high production values on all these little videos. Just the general art style is great. The fact that you've got these, like all the major races have animations. It's all very, very nice. And Starbases are possibly one of the gems of this. So we'll start with xenoarchaeology, so I can take advantage of that approval relic there. And we'll upgrade it as we go. But yeah, if you have, I mean, it's just such a pretty, pretty game. I mean, in many ways, there's not a massive expectation for 4X games to look stunning. The recent launch of Might and Magic Heroes 7 proves that it's actually been described as less attractive than its predecessor, which is a bit odd. I mean, in many ways, I believe, from what I've seen, that the game's a bit of an ad hoc mess. Whereas you look here, I mean, beautiful reflections on the robot's own body of its hands and everything, with full sort of distortion and things thanks to its shape. And that's kind of the thing. I don't know if this game would have been as stunning if it wasn't funded through Kickstarter, or well, its own sort of kickstarting. Oh, that's very pretty. Okay, well, Benevolent. So, basic factory, research lab, consulate, slave pit, which will give bonuses to everyone around it. Buildings built in their other buildings now give each other bonuses if they're compatible, which is a great touch. What I'm very pleased to see, to be honest. Okay, can we get further? Let's go further out. They've kept a lot of things that were really good and very popular in the user interface from the previous game, which is excellent. let's work on our soldering. Yep. And that's great to see. It's all very clear, it's all very intuitive. In many ways, I don't know if I'm going to be particularly popular for saying this, in many games, Galactic 3 is kind of like an HD remake of 2 with tweaks made to it, because in so many ways it's still Galactic 2. Obviously there's changes, I'm not denying that, but in many ways it is very, very similar to its predecessor. That said, I mean, its predecessor was absolutely astonishing, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. So let's put a mining rig on this. What an odd looking space station. Interesting. Okay. Oh, here we go, another video, our first Duranthium mine. But yeah, and I'm not objecting to some of the changes made either. For example, in 2 you had the mining system where you have a mining ship that went through and set up things, whereas now starbases do the mining, which means you have to be a little bit more careful with what you're using starbases for. Resources also play a bigger part in the gameplay, which is an excellent thing, because you can kind of ignore them, to be honest, in 2, whereas they're much more fundamental now, which is excellent to see. Okay, defense systems, let's get some of those. I'm focusing on military because, yeah, I'm expecting to go to war with someone soon. Come on, give me another planet. I need planets. The question is, and the question was raised by Total Biscuit when he looked at the latest in the Magic franchise. The question he raised was, is the game worth the money? And he said, because it's so similar to its predecessor and so unpolished in so many ways, it's really not worth the money. And I think that is a fair assessment of that game. However, if you ask me the same question about this game, well, actually, it was worth the money that I paid. Like, I was glad to back it. I think it definitely was worth the money I spent. Even though in many ways I consider it a bit of a remake. Okay. A mysterious bit craft has appeared in orbit around our homeworld, blah blah blah. Okay, well, we're bad. We're not going to take the word of a spy capable of penetrating defenses, confiscate the entire ship, even if she sabotages the systems. The salvage line will be valuable. I get the scout ship too. So, naval crews are notoriously squishy, otherwise difficult to protect in a ship that operates in hard vacuum. But we've got to do something, or they're going to stop getting in the ships. Ooh, vicious. I'll take that. So, malevolent eager. Oh, I'll go with that. Okay, that's not my homeworld, guys, well done. But it's another sneak, so you can go off and explore. What other things are there to say? Great power, don't be ridiculous, hit the road. Let's check. Not that one, go on. Okay, I can't see any espionage yet. Espionage was something that was great in the previous game, and it is supposed to be coming at some point, probably in a DLC based around it, and I don't object to that. Now, those of you who watch all my videos, or most of them, know I'm not a huge fan of DLC. I'm not a huge fan of people milking games overly. In my opinion, very good reason. Often it's not justified. Often they haven't earned the respect or the trust of their consumer when they start asking money. Day one DLC is a prime example of that. Pre-orders, prime example. I'm really not fond of a lot of these sort of habits by various people. Now, I don't want to probably build. I don't really want to build another colony ship, so I'm going to cancel it and in its place start building some more improvisers. Yeah. However, when it comes to Stardock, I have a lot more trust. There's a couple of reasons for this. They don't do a DRM. Obviously, if you buy things through Steam, there's DRM, but they don't sort of push the DRM thing. Basically, as far as I understand it, because their opinion is this. DRM is basically saying you don't, Ubisoft, I hope you're listening, putting DRM, especially stupid DRM like Ubisoft Star stuff, on a game says to the consumer that you, the producer of the product, do not trust the consumer to obey the rules. Now, if they don't give you trust, you're not going to return it. Hold that thought. The Snathi know that being small makes us vulnerable to the larger races. However, we make up for our size with pure viciousness. There are many advantages to always starting battle with a low blow. Lovely. Let's work on some planetary invasion. So yes, if a game developer basically from the outset uses especially aggressive DRM, limited installs and complicated systems, well, I'll be pushed around. Yeah, if the consumer doesn't feel trusted, they have no reason to trust in return, and it does cause piracy, I think, because people aren't willing to give money to people who don't trust them. And honestly, I think that's fair enough in many ways. Let's whack a planetary defense system on there. Now, Stardock, on the other hand, trust their consumers. They don't want DRM because they say, well, we trust you. And I don't believe they've gone bankrupt because everyone's pirated their games. They've changed their funding model a little bit. Yeah, fine, to adapt to the times. Good on them for being sort of, on the ball with that. So the whole thing is, well, I have no issue whatsoever with paying extra money for DLC that comes in the future to add features, because they haven't, Stardock haven't, released this game without espionage because they want to milk us later on to get it, in my opinion. They've set a launch date and they've said, well, this content won't be good enough at launch. It won't work properly. It won't be what we want it to be. It won't sort of satisfy the consumers, so we won't have it. Instead, they're going to give it to us as DLC later on, from what I've read. Don't take me as gospel. And that's fine. And why am I also fine with that as DLC, not just as a content patch? Well, because probably, I expect, it's going to come with its own special extra things, maybe an extra story or whatever, to introduce it. Ooh. Haunting. Let's at least use the ghosts for something. Use them to train our soldiers in the art of magic fear. They're excellent. Precursor nanites. Sweet. Well, I'm going to put a manufacturing building there. And then a slave pit next to that, and then research lab. Concept. So I'm fine with it. And also, I trust Stardock, because the one time they betrayed that trust even slightly, they made up for it. And of course, I'm talking about Elemental, Law of Magic, which was a disaster. And the problem was this. I bought it because it was a Stardock game. I read the manual before I installed it, and everything sounded incredible. So many brilliant ideas. So, great. I bought it. The game was terrible. It didn't work properly, buggy, boring, just not the concept wasn't realised properly. So what happened? Well, they basically went back to the drawing board and made the game again. And I can respect them for that. And they apologised to everyone who bought and registered the game and said, sorry, here's a free copy of what the game should have been. Now, other companies have done similar things, sort of. The prime example is, of course, EA. when the disaster that was SimCity occurred. Okay. Spike of number of anomalies has been found. We should target and destroy enemy survey ships. Do it. We will not be pushed around. Yeah. But with SimCity, they didn't go, here's your money back, or here's what the game should have been, or have the expansion pack for free. Oh, that would have been a really good thing, because the expansion pack saved the game in many regards, gameplay-wise. The expansion pack for SimCity was incredible. No, what that is here, have store credit for a choice of a very small number of games. None of them I particularly wanted, so I ended up with Battlefield 3, which I've never even bothered to install. I don't want to play it. So the way EA addressed the problem was not as good as... Oh, that's going to be fun. It's simply not as good as the way that anyone else did it. Well, sorry, not as good as the way Stardock did it anyway. And as such, it's hard to sort of trust EA in comparison to Stardock. Of course, not trusts EA, in my opinion. But yeah, I've gone off on a total tangent and not really talked about the game. So what I just did is I got some free transports fully loaded, which means I'm going to go to war with the Drangi soon. So let's see. We'll send you through. Send you there. You there. You there. There. And you there. So we're going to launch an invasion. And I'll show you something where this game's done something less than what its predecessor did, but hasn't suffered for it. Okay, cool. Don't really care, but yeah, it's just, I trust Stardock. I'm happy at giving them money than possibly any other developer, like big developer or publisher around, except maybe Paradox, because I understand that their DLC model is designed to allow long productions of games. I'll talk about this more some other time, but basically the way it works is Paradox's games, they don't release a new game every year or whatever. What they do is they give the game a long life by having a lot of DLC that ranges in price from cheap to a little bit pricey, but because it gives such a long life to the game, it's because it gives such a long life, it's not devaluing. But I mean, if you went to buy, say, Crusader Kings 2 right now, you could put out a lot of money to get all the content. I mean, I have it, but I have hardly any of the content. But it also gives you such variety that you can pick and choose what you want to customize your gaming experience, which is a great idea. Okay. So anything I should build yet? No, so I'm going to put you on economic stimulus as well. Now, I'm actually going to protect Snathi Prime by building a military starbase here. So each type of starbase looks a bit different, you might notice, which is a very nice touch. And each faction looks different as well. Well, let's go. So here's diplomacy. It looks a bit different to the previous game, and we're going to talk to Dragon. They don't like me. And it's nice because it sums up all their feelings towards you. So, speak to him. We're going to war. Goodbye. So then they move. And if you've got allies, they're in there. And then they've got minor factions, which we haven't met the of yet, so there's no one there. And the United Planets haven't started yet either. So you're going to invade there. You're going to invade Kona. You're going to invade Jacingo. Jacinso. You're going to wander down. See if they've got any more planets. And our warship will just fly in behind. It really should be in front, but it's not, so tough. Half the fun of moving to a new place is fixing it up to suit your needs. Yep, cool. Slavery cycling. Boost food production and population growth. Lovely. So we'll have to return to our planet soon, because what I've got, my two first planets, Snathi Prime and Rex doing. You can give them sort of an endless task to perform when they're not building anything else, which is quite nice. I'll fob them off while I deal with the drinky. And this is a bit of a rush tactic I'm using, because I mean it's turn 78, but I've got a massive invasion fleet thanks to malevolence. Okay, so we can't invade Drangi, so it'll hide in the nebula, and the warship won't quite reach. That's handy. We still haven't found any more planets to colonize. That's a shame. Turn. They've all got ships defending, haven't they? God. Of course they do. Give me some pests. Teeny little things they are. And you can go and upgrade our defences. Upgrade Starbase defense system, build Starbase defense system. That looks very cool. I do like the actual race design that the Snathi have. It's very cool. Also, I'm just pumped to have the Snathi to play as. So we are nattering on non-stop. No point in showing that battle. We're going to have to pull our fleet out because, yeah, otherwise we're going to lose a lot of ships because my transports have no defences. I'll take your words into whatever. Okay. Pulling our ships back. You can attack Drangi's shipyard though. Turn. Yeah. We are sort of dragging out the time a little bit, which is not necessarily great. Bastards. Oh well, I'll get him. This should be fun. We're going to view battle. The battle viewer is quite good, quite enjoyable. So you can change the camera. I am so much bigger than him. Poor little thing. Those look like lasers. Oh, they could have been mass drivers, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, it's not super pretty, but it's nice. You can change it. So this is cinematic mode, which looks a bit better. I mean, there's still a kind of Lego-y feel because of the construction system of the ships in this game, but it's not bad. And we won. Done. Now we can take the shipyard next time. Okay. New tech, warfare, engineering, interstellar travel. Okay, idle ship. Come and hide. So my war plans did not work out because I didn't have any ships. I thought my battleship would be able to reach their planet, but it can't, which is a problem because it has a shorter range. And this is just a useless exercise with colony ships. So this is what it looks like to attack any sort of starbase. So this is the orbital cam. We're just going to spin around. Free cam, top down, cinematic. So obviously a shipyard doesn't have massive defences compared to, say, a warship, so I should be able to take it out pretty easily, though it is hitting me pretty hard. Very hard, actually. It's kind of surprised. I think we may lose our ship. Bit odd. It's never happened before. I never lost a ship to a starbase. A shipyard before. Yeah, we lost. That's a shame. So, let's start summing this up, shall we, before we run out of time. Galactic Civilization 3. Is it worth the money? Hell yes. If you're into 4X strategy and for some reason you don't have this game already, really recommend you get it. Is the DLC worth it? I mean, I think Revenge of the Snathi was $5 or something. Very cheap. So, yeah. I definitely recommend checking it out. There's no demo as far as I know, but it's a safe bet. If you're not entirely sure, you can usually pick up Galactic 2 pretty cheap, and if you like that, it's probably worth getting Galactic 3 just for the better looks, smoother gameplay, and just new content that's coming out. And also the workshop compatibility is incredible in this game. But yeah, so this has been my replacement for demo impressions for this week. It's just a bit of a play of Galactic Civilizations 3 with the Revenge of the Snathi DLC, and all the other DLC obviously that are running in the background as well, but the focus was the Revenge of the Snathi. Really cool race. I'm going to have to keep playing to find out more, but it looks like they've got some cool features. They can steal tech, they can salvage ships that other people can't, so that's a really cool thing. So, to sum up, I've been talking for quite a while now, nearly 3/4 of an hour. You're probably dead bored by now, and I apologise for that. But, yeah, I've been Sagrannus. This has been our little play of the latest DLC for Galactic Civilization 3 by Stardock. And we'll be back with Let's Plays next week, and then next weekend we'll have a new demo impressions. As always, I'm open to suggestions, thoughts, recommendations, and yeah, comment, like, and subscribe. Please subscribe. Really need to boost those subscriptions. They've been stagnant for quite a while. Alright everyone, thanks for watching. See you next time.